Hey kid, come over here. Want to have a good time? And you might want to check out Amazon Time Barbarians, Thicc Edition. That's Thicc with two C's. Hi, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. Without me having done a bunch of whole talking about it, I have actually sold quite a few copies of Amazon Time Barbarians in the last month since this whole OGL revolt began. So I figured, much like I did yesterday with Vintage Future RPG, I'll talk a little bit about, what's in and the intentions of the contents of Amazon Time Barbarians Thicc Edition. Amazon Time Barbarians is the one core rulebook in here. Well, no, actually that's not true. Cowgirls and Zombies is also kind of counts as core rules. The concept of Amazon Time Barbarians, the quick pitch for it, shall we say, the Hollywood pitch, which is appropriate since it's kind of based on a TV show kind of formula anyway, is that it's the child of Xena, warrior princess, and hell comes to Frogtown. It's set in a fictionalized, dystopian, apocalyptic future of 1999. It's very much in the genre of, those early 90s syndicated or cable, low-budget kind of sci-fi fantasy shows like Xena and such. And the premise is the player characters are Amazon warrior maidens from the Bronze Age who are shot forward into the future, by the ghost of Hippolyte, to help save the world and stuff. And the world in Time Barbarians does need saving. A nefarious video game company released a console called the Game Gate, virtual reality console. It was super popular, and it had affected most of the male population with the incel virus, which is called such because it's a virus that goes into your cells. And after a certain gestation period, they started mutating into trolls, and society has fallen apart, and terrible things have happened to a lot of the women because of all the trolls. And the people at the video game company have been intentionally trying to breed the trolls to create different stages of incel infection. So they've created a bunch of Chads, which are like the second stage trolls, who go back to looking like a handsome human male, but they have weaponized male gaze, and they're easily controlled and dependent on the sort of genetic manipulations that the people behind the Game Gate virtual reality console have planted into them in their own plots to continue the survival of their own species. There's obviously a bunch of time travel hijinks. It's one of the only games out there that allows you to have a player character that's a slam poet that works for the hashtag resistance. There's several factions, different armies of women's liberation trying to battle against the trolls and the Gamergate incel virus. The leader of the various warlords who run North America in the year 1999 is the Rogan Joe, which, yes, it's just, turning Rogan Joe into Immortan Joe from Mad Max Fury Road. So, hence, the Rogan Joe. Make with that what you will. The whole idea of the game is that it's supposed to be something that's, really silly and memorable. Perhaps my own answer to Gonzo, but I don't really know if it really truly counts as Gonzo fantasy. To me, it's you're trying to recreate one of those just real cheeseball late 80s, early 90s, kind of television program. The source books that come with it, one of them is the actual adventure source book that comes with it, which is Beyond Cage Dome 2000. It's got an opening adventure called Syndrome of the Stockholm Sisterhood, Amazon Prison Girls, which is another faction characters might be able, to meet and help liberate on their way further into Silicon Valley. And Amazon Time Barbarians in the Hollow Earth is an example of what the final adventure to face down the Rogan Joe could be like when they go and reach Cage Dome 2000. The source books are Ancient Egypt Conquers Mars. I discussed it in yesterday's video about Vintage Future RPG. It's one of those source books that does pop up in a couple of these compilations because it's relevant to a couple different game settings in different ways. And this one because it does feature the Sirens, which are one of the other branches of Amazons that had decided to follow Anubis and in return were given winged flight as a power. and find themselves on Mars and the cataclysmic events that lead up to the destruction of ancient Mars and the setting and all that kind of good stuff. So it's worth putting in there. Cowgirls versus Zombies is there, since it's the origin story for the Cowgirl Mounted Cavalry, which is one of the heroic armies of women's liberation to be found in the year 1999 for your Amazon time barbarians to ally with or potentially also make characters from. And finally, Secrets of the Lesbian Illuminati, since the Lesbian Illuminati are basically now running what is left of the U.S. government out of Disneyland in Florida. So knowing, their origins and such is helpful. Plus, all three of those source books, since this is a time travel game, should your Amazon Time Barbarians resolve issues with the people behind the Game Argate console and take down the Rogue and Joe, it gives them the potential of other time periods that they could be thrown into as an alternative set of characters to use and face the various things. So with Ancient Age of Conquers Mars, it allows them to go back to this kind of Italian sci-fi, Bronze Age sci-fi version of Mars, very John Carter of Mars kind of stuff going on there. Or you can have them go back and have them, be in the Wild Wild West with Cowgirls versus Zombies, maybe help them out with the zombie outbreak in Colorado in the year 1866. And then with Secrets of the Lesbian Illuminati, it's Amazons versus college lesbians and martial artists in the early 1970s. Like, you can't beat that. So check it out. I'll leave links below. Make of it what you will. It's supposed to be kind of a meme game. Like I said, it's supposed to be memorable because it will lead to a bunch of just really outrageous situations from time to time that will stick out to your players as the years march forward. Who wouldn't want to be a jiggly Amazon Time Barbarian battling the Rogue and Joe in Cage Dome 2000? Come on. So anyway, until next time, stay next time.